Welcome back everyone to 3D modeling a Hobbit Door scene with Blender 2.9 and Adobe Photoshop. Now this is where we left it off, and what we need to do now is make a start on our grass. So grass actually isn't that hard if you know what you're doing, so let's make a start on it. What we'll do first of all, we'll bring in a UV sphere. What I'm going to actually do is, just to reset it, I'll come up to File, come to Actual Save, and then I'll go to File again, Open Recent, Hobbit Door, and reopen it. And what that means is then, when I bring in a UV sphere, so Shift A, Mesh, come down to UV sphere, you'll see that these have been reset. In other words, non-12 and 12, like we had for the bolts. And that's exactly what I want. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to move this across over here, and this is going to be the basis for my actual grass. I'm going to press Tab then, I'm going to come up to Proportional Editing, and then I'm just going to grab this and just pull them over. So make my circle a little bit bigger, like so. And don't be afraid to mess around and really pull that mesh out. This is going to be your grass, and we're going to remesh this as well. A very easy technique to do that. We just want to make sure that we don't bend it too much, so it doesn't end up like you can see here. It's a little bit broken. That's not actually what we want. So I'm just going to go back and just make sure that I'm not breaking it that much. So I'm going to make perhaps this a little bit bigger, like so. Let's bring it out, like so, like so. And also we're going to displace this as well, which will make it, again, a little bit easier. Alright, so I think, let's have a look. I think I'm happy with that for now. Again, we'll be able to change this once we've actually remeshed it as well. The one thing I think I'm just not happy with is it's a little bit too close to the actual steps. So let's bring it out, something like that, and let's bring this just down, just to make it a little bit flat. So I'm pressing 3 on the number pad, and I'm just looking at where it comes out to. Obviously, you're not going to see the bottom anyway, so I think that should be absolutely fine. Now, let's bring in another sphere. So Shift A, UV sphere, and let's move it, oops, across to this side. I think actually better splitting it up from this one, so that when I use proportional editing, well, actually I'll show you different techniques. Let's bring it down, just put it into place, proportional editing on, and just click connected only, and then I'm not going to interact with this one at the same time. So now let's start squishing this one around as well. Let's pull it out a little bit, like so. Let's lift it up, pull it out to where it's going to go, and then let's bend it in a little bit, like so. And then just want to make sure this bit's perhaps flattened off a little bit, like that. Alright, so that's okay. That should be a good start. Now what we need to do is we need to press Tab. Let's come over now to our little triangle, and what you'll see is one that's called a remesh. Click that open, and what you're going to do is you're going to click it on quads, click on Quadri Flow Remesh, turn off Use Paint Symmetry, and let's put it on something like 2000. We don't want it that high, so 2000 should be absolutely fine. And basically this is the number of faces that you're going to end up with when you've actually remeshed this. Next thing what I want to do is I want to come in and I want to click OK. Now it's going to think about it, it's going to take a little bit of time, and now it's finished. If I press Tab, you can see now we've got a really nice base to actually work with. And this is the point where you want to be pulling these bits out that you're not happy with. So like here, for instance, so if I press G, I'm going to just pull it out, just so it's in front of that door, and you'll have the grass growing up, and that's exactly what I want. And again, with this one, I'm just refining it now, as you can see. Pull it out here. And again, we can pull this out to our heart's desire once we've actually got our grass in place. Now, we've got 2 things left to do. So the first is we need to unwrap it. So I'm going to grab them both. I'm going to press U, and this time I'm going to press Smart UV Project. And the reason for that is when you use this, it actually splits up the mesh and breaks it up for you. So if I click this on, click OK, come over to UV Editing, you'll see now that we've unwrapped it, and it's basically broken them up. Press dot on the number pad to go to it. Can't find it, press the question mark, and there we go. So what it's done is it's basically not add to marking. It seems it's a very fast way of actually unwrapping it, but it does break it up, and it should only be used in circumstances like this. It shouldn't be used all the time. Now what I want to do is I want to grab them, I want to really bring them out without proportional editing on, because I know how my grass is going to fit this. So there we go. Now let's bring in the material. So plus, new, let's call it grass. Let's come over now to our shading panel. And all I want to do is bring in one actual grass material. So I think if I press Ctrl-Shift-T and I'll go to my textures, you'll see one that says grass. I'm going to bring it in. And sometimes it won't bring it in like that. It says no matching images found. And that is basically because that grass hasn't got a name on the end of it saying color. So this should end up, if it says color on the end, normal on the end, ambient occlusion on the end, Blender will pick you up. So that's a good tip in case you can't actually bring in an actual texture. So what we'll do now is we'll go to the file and we'll bring it in the old-fashioned way. So here is our grass. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to just left click, drag, and just drop it in place. And there you'll see it actually drops in now. Now all you need to do is just pull the color over and drop it into the base color of the actual grass. Now let's go back to our modeling. I don't need to mess around with anything else on here. So back to modeling. Press the tab button, double tap the A, and there you go. You can see our grass is looking really, really nice. And the thing is, why it doesn't really matter about this being unwrapped or anything like that, as you'll see, when I actually bring in the grass colors and things like that are just based on the colors of your textures. So the one thing I want to do is just shade it smooth, so shade smooth. And you'll see like the little white bits in here and the little dark bits in here will actually come through on to the actual grass when we use the particle system. But before that happens, we need to make this grass mounds a little bit lumpier. So let's come over to our spanner, modifiers again, add modifier, and this time we're going to bring in the displace. And you notice they get really fat. Come on down now to the actual texture, and basically you're deciding now what actual kind of noise texture you're going to put on this. So let's come to new, click on that. Click down, and the one we are going to pick is going to be clouds. So let's pick clouds, and you can see already it's looking really funky. Now let's come in and basically mess around with this here. So what we need to do is we need to turn this up, and I'm going to put it on 1.06. And now you can see that we've got some real lumpiness for our grass really, really easily. Perhaps a little bit too lumpy. So what we need to do now is come over back to our spanner, and now we can mess around with the displacement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the strength down to 0.420. And now you can see it's still lumpy, but it's a lot smoother like grass mounds would actually be. And then I'm going to put this on 0.122. And there we go. All right, so I'm really happy with that. So this is going to be a short lesson because on the next lesson, I want to actually start bringing in the actual particle systems and our grass. So I hope you're enjoying that. And I'm sure you're going to enjoy the next lesson. See you on the next one, everyone. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.